Hello, my friends. Hello, hello. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope this message finds you healthy, happy, and I hope you're surrounded by a supportive community. This is the Outstanding Life Show. My name is Jason. It has been a hot minute, my friends, since we have posted an episode, and I want to let you know things are good. Things are healthy, things are happy, and I hope we can all share that same sentiment. Anyways, my friends, I wanted to put together this quick episode. I wanted to get it out there, just let you know things are looking good, but I wanted to reach out, talk about connections and creating those connections. I wanted to originally make this about community, and the more I thought about it, the more I wanted more than just the sense of community. I love talking about community, and in recovery and addiction, having a supportive community is key, and it's very, I don't want to say it's essential, but for me it was a huge game changer, being able to have that supportive community and know that I can reach out to them, or know that I can ask for help or tap out when I need to really get some guidance and support. And when I thought more about community and putting it together in an episode like this, just like we are right now, I thought, rather than talk about the community aspect, what if I talked about how to jumpstart the community, how to create those connections, how to do that in a 2021 world. I almost said 2020. Somehow in my brain, I still think it's 2020. Am I the only one? I'm just missing this gap of time where there was this cloud, and then you go into the cloud and time stops, and then you come out of the cloud and then time begins. So I still think somehow that either we're in 2020, but in a couple of months, it's going to be 2022. Where has the time gone? Where has the adventure led us? Okay, my friends. So when it comes to creating connections, when it comes to, I know what the outcome is, and I know that sense of community and camaraderie. And in recovery, we often call it a fellowship. In the early stages of recovery, I didn't have a clear definition in my head about what I believe the higher power to be. And when I say the word higher power, I don't want to make it all weird, but when it comes to having a higher power, something larger than our ego, and we've talked about this before, having an ego in 2020, I just did it again, having an ego in 2021, what I'm talking about is I didn't know what to call my higher power. And when I was feeling lost in that moment, to be honest and transparent, and I felt lost, I used the group, I used the community as my higher power. I wanted to keep coming back to the meetings, and I wanted to, I want to say stay connected, because we were all in that adventure together, and we were all in that white knuckling aspect of recovery where you're not sure how you're going to deal with making amends, and you're really not sure how it's going to land when you open up your honesty and transparency bottles and you're sharing that with the world, and you're confronting those inner demons, I would say. And it's not an easy process, and it's very nerve-wracking. And having that sense of community for me was key. Having that sense where I can reach out to someone who is also going through the same thing. They can identify with me, with where I'm coming from. Maybe not necessarily the unique scenario that I was in, but they can appreciate that this is a very difficult conversation I'm about to have, or there's this unique aspect and I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with it. But having a group that I can connect with, having that sense of community that I know, that I like, and that I trust, these were things that helped develop that sense of foundation, and that formed, for me, the early stages of recovery. I built my higher power concept around that, and coming back to the group was key. Coming back to the community for me was uplifting, and I really didn't know what to do in the beginning. And this is where I thought, how would you start if you were to start? How would you build a community or connection if you didn't have one? Where would you go? Where's the jumpstart button for that? Is there a Netflix binge special on how to build community? I'll bet you Netflix is probably not the answer. The idea is there's no app for that. There's no quick, easy solution. And when it comes to creating connections with others, I would argue that it's important to create connections with yourself. And I know that sounds silly, but run with me for a minute here. Hold on, I see Megan is here. So Megan is mentioning 2020, the extended edition, or the director's cut. I like that idea, Megan. The Marvel adventure, the post-credit scene of 2020. But this is fun. When I wasn't sure where to go with my creating connections, when you have no idea which direction is up, the last thing I wanted to do was to run in the wrong direction, and I was unsure. And I've shared earlier in this message about being vulnerable. That's the key, is stepping into that vulnerability, embracing it, and reaching out for support. There's different levels of support depending on, I don't want to call it the severity, but there's different needs and different steps. And depending on where we are in our comfort level with our own selves, with, I don't want to say battling addiction, but I would say if you're unsure of where to start, admitting there's a problem is the first step. Admitting it wholeheartedly to the point where you're open, willing, and ready to accept help. If I just recognize that there's a problem, if I recognize I got a bunch of dishes in the sink, just labeling it as being sloppy doesn't change anything. However, that does give me the ability to label it, make a plan to solve it, make an action plan. Do I need help? Am I overwhelmed? Am I feeling down? Is there an emotional component to this? Is there just, maybe I don't have any soap? Or maybe there's something that I maybe don't have the right tools, and reaching out for help, having that sense of community, having those, I don't want to call it the hive mind, but you have that fellowship and you're all in that idea together. It's amazing how often we will lift each other up rather than the opposite would be cut each other down. No one likes being cut down. No one likes being, I don't want to say thrown to the wolves, but no one likes facing these challenges alone. And if we can have the right support, and if we're open, willing, and ready to connect with others, and we've admitted that yes, we have our own challenges and we have our own problems, but if we're willing to take it on, if we're willing to, I don't want to say admit defeat, but if we've embraced that inner conflict to the point where having a supportive community can make all the difference. I heard about the AA meetings and I've heard about the NA meetings, and I really didn't have a way to deal with it, and I really didn't have a way to navigate these things, and I was really unsure. Those feelings of fear, those doubt, the feeling left out, I didn't feel like I belonged. Even before I went to a meeting, I've labeled it as something that wasn't for me. But as soon as I was in a meeting, as soon as I was surrounded by other people, and as soon as I started hearing all these stories and these connections and identifying that we're all on our own path, we're all on our own journey, and we're all getting there together, and we can hold each other accountable. The act of being in the meeting for me was night and day. As soon as I was in a meeting, it changed my perspective, what that meeting could offer me and what I could bring to the meeting. And in doing that, habitually going to these meetings created a new habit where I formed a new opinion that I didn't have before. And it was being vulnerable, being scared, identifying I had the problem, reaching out for help, getting the right community, and then getting the right support along the way. These are all different, I would say, like strategies, or these different elements, or these different ingredients to fold in, to bake, to make the recovery pie, if you will. These tiny little things added up where one win stretched to another win, until it stretched to another win, until pretty soon, here we are. And I'm not saying that's right for everybody, and I'm not saying that recovery pie is the right thing for everything. What I can say is maybe there's a problem, and maybe there's a solution, and maybe there's a community, and maybe there's help. And if you're not sure where to go, and if you're not sure where to start, maybe you can start right now. It's never too late to reinvent yourself, and it's never too late to change something or to dig deep beyond our fears, beyond our own inhibitions, beyond our own labels that we've created. We're free to create a new future for ourselves. Despite how crazy it's been, despite how challenging the director's cut has been, 2022 is around the corner, and what better time to change direction or to build a new path or to create a new community? And maybe that comes from reaching out. Maybe that comes from recognizing you've got dirty dishes. But in the meantime, friends, thank you for watching. Thank you, Megan, for hanging out. Thank you for checking out a video. I wanted to put this video out there to ask you how you're doing. I hope you're doing well. I'm looking forward to creating a connection with you, my community. But in the meantime, you guys take care, and I'll catch you guys soon in another video. Bye-bye.